Army Wrestling radio show. I'm Jordan Tom, followed Brian Rowan. We got Patrick Smith back and Coach Ward.
What's up, fellas? Yeah, I was a little disappointed I didn't get a walkout song here in this. What is this, episode 30-something? I still don't have any walkout music, so
33.
that took the bull by the horns tonight.
Well, Coach, we quite a weekend. Didn't turn out the way that probably the fans wanted, nor you, I would assume. 18-16 loss to Lehigh. Bonus at 125 probably is some of the bigger points, but 5-5 split. Talk us through the match and the mood on the ride home this weekend.
Yeah, 5-5 split. We had chances to get bonus points at 57 and 84 too. We had a chance to get some more bonus points than we got at 174. It's not fair to pin it on one match. There were 9 matches after that. So, so the mood, immediately following, I'm usually take a little bit to collect my thoughts before I talk to the team after a duel, but like right away after that one, I knew what was on my mind, what I thought needed to be shared. And the message is like, look, man, we let them get away with one there. We had them. And a couple weights, we kind of had them on the ropes, and just didn't quite push ourselves hard enough to push them hard enough. We had them, and we could have really broke some things open, but just didn't go quite hard enough. And with a team that's that good, and they got a lot of depth and they're pretty solid up and down, you got to take advantage of things like that, especially a year like this. It's hard to know what teams are competing at 100%. I don't think we're anywhere close to 100% yet. And to have a chance to knock them off, in their gym. So that was disappointing. But, what I told the guys is, listen, hold your heads up. We're walking out of here, feeling like maybe that one got away from us, and that doesn't feel good. But we didn't feel like we got beat up. That's for sure. It felt like, man, we just kind of let it slip away. Like we could do a little bit more. But, didn't feel like we got beat up at all. Didn't feel like we didn't represent ourselves well. Just feel like we need to do a little bit better. So the important thing is you recognize that, hey, this could happen again. We could be, whether it's this week or in conference tournament, you could leave feeling like you let things slip away again if you don't address it. And we need to do what it takes to push just a little bit harder. So when you walk away from dual meets like that, you don't feel like you let one slip away. You feel really good about going and taking something, from the other guy. And we were in positions to do that. In some matches we did, and we didn't do it enough, overall as a team. But guys fought hard. I thought it was a decent performance. We're getting better. I think right now it's showing progress every week. So that's good to see. And this is the time of year when you want to see a team start to really, kind of make some jumps and show a lot of progress. So it was good to see, and we're going to need to see more of it.
Well, what was your opinion on the officiating overall before I give my thoughts?
So that's a good official that we had in the Lehigh duel.
Yeah.
He's one of the best. He does the NCAA tournament. He's done a lot of our matches. And he does a fairly good job. He's a good official. And he's usually pretty consistent. Here's the deal. Officiating this year has not been good. Really at any dual meet. And here's why. Any ref at this level can see something and kind of award the points. That's pretty easy. Most of it's cut and dry. The frustrating part is that, when there's some potentially dangerous, or there's a stall call or a stalemate, when judgment comes into play, you can tell they're just a little bit rusty. We've been in the wrestling room, we've at least been able to practice for a while. There's no practicing officiating until you get out there. So, it's been obvious how rusty a few of them are. But no, that's a good official that we have. Maybe a couple calls, looking back. I thought in heavyweight, this is the last match kind of fresh on my mind. That stall call on Bobby on bottom was just ridiculous, really. But the call on our feet was warranted. That was fine. We could have been called in the first period. But getting called for stalling on bottom there, that was stupid. That was a bad call. But other than that, I can't think. There may be a few others that I didn't particularly like, but I want to hear your opinion, because obviously you might be a little bit more fired up about the officiating than I am.
As a top guy, it just really irks me, when you're hip to hip and their stall calls on the bottom guy. Like, what is he supposed to do? Like, you're not doing anything. Obviously, like that was capped off with the most flagrant, which was a bow and arrow. It's like, what do you expect him to do other than not try to get his spine broken?
Yeah. I mean, when the guy weighs 250 pounds and he's got your ankle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's definitely some positions when you're like, man, I would love for an official to fill this and try to do anything other than pick their head up.
Exactly.
You know, there's some of that, you know, I mean, there's some positions that are like, let me get on your back and you build up. And if you can't, then I'm going to call you for stalling and then I'm going to turn you. You know, it's like, I mean, it's those are tough stall calls. And stall calls on the bottom guy that's tough because most of the time they're trying to get away. They just can't, you know. Yeah, I thought that stall call at heavyweight, that was no good.
So that's an interesting topic too, because like I feel like there's like a bit of shift somewhere in the last like 10 years to where like there used to be, if you were riding the hips, then like, hey, you got to get out to the side. You got to get out to the side. And then somewhere in the last like 10 years, like it's like they've given the benefit of the doubt to the top guy. Like, oh, he's going to work for a tilt. And I don't know if like, you know, because tilting has become like a lot more prevalent or like what it is, but it seems like it's completely shifted. Now, like, if the bottom guy can't build a solid base, and even when they're building the base and they come up, they're still like, you know, home fans, you know, I was watching Big Ten duels this weekend and these fans are just ruthless. Like guys working on bottom, like, what's he doing? The guy on top's not doing anything. He's just sitting there.
Yeah. No, that's it. There's got to be a change in officiating because they're getting so good at riding.
Yeah.
And you know, we're able to get away with it. So when refs let you get away with riding, why not? You know, not only do you get a point for it, but you tax the other guy a little bit and you control the match. So there's no reason not to do it unless there's a shift in officiating to kind of make that call. Because in all honesty, who wants to watch that? Like us wrestling people, we want to watch it. We appreciate it, but anybody else, it's pretty boring to watch. So
is there a forum in season for refs to put out to coaches, like trends, or vice versa, coaches to send out to refs in terms of what they're seeing?
So we can, like, you know, we evaluate official after each dual meet, and sometimes, you know, but like I said, it's sometimes it's hard to evaluate because a lot of it's, you know, it all comes down to judgment, and yeah, the NCAA typically can send out a few rules clarifications throughout the course of a year. With a shortened season, there hasn't been much updates this year. So it is a rules change year, you know, as you guys know. So we can submit for rules proposals or whatever, but you know, they may be implemented in a year or two. But other than that, you know, these officials are pretty approachable, like almost all of them. And if you want to call the coordinator for your conference and say, hey, here's what I saw and we need to address this, they want to listen because they want to do a good job. Like they really do want to do a good job. Otherwise, they wouldn't be doing this. They don't get paid a ton, you know, like they really love it. So they want to do a good job. It's a difference in opinions sometimes. But yeah, I mean, to answer your question, JT, I thought the officiating was okay.
I thought it was okay.
It was okay.
You know, when you said the guy on bottom, it's not like he's trying to lay there. Like most of the time they're trying to get up. It made me think about when I was about 8 years old and my dad was like real intense at the time. And he'd be like yelling at me. And I was that kid that would be like on the mat in the middle of like, I'm trying.
Yeah.
Yelling back at the coach.
We get that look, you know, you get that look, especially in practice. Build up. They look at you like, all right, coach, you know.
Well, not to steal Chick's thunder or the new thread that we saw, Hutch's Hunches. Hutch's hunches. That's hard to say.
Hey, I'm gonna steal some thunder here. Noah Hanow says he's coming out with one soon, so be looking for Noah's notes. I'm sure he'll come out hot, like with one. He'll come out with Noah's notes once, and then we won't hear from him again for about a year.
I love it.
But he'll come out pretty hot.
Is there something better than Hutch's hunches? I literally Googled synonyms for thoughts that begin with H, and there was like nothing.
Did you secretly
hot takes?
Oh, I pressured him. I was texting him saying, "Hey, you need to put this out," and then I group texted a whole bunch of people to message him and be like, "Hey, you need to you need to put these out because he's after every match, he'd send me all these notes during the match.
I love it, man. That's why I'm so glad we have our alumni page, so you guys can get on there and share your different blogs with each other. I love it. Yeah. But JT, you had a question a second ago. What?
I was just going to say, I'm not trying to steal their thunder, but I don't know what I'm going to call it, but I was going to say, let's maybe talk about the bright spot and the low spot of the duel. I'm going to call the bright spot Pazook. I mean, man, dude just went out there and wrestled hard. I think they even said it was the wrong guy. They weren't even tracking that it was him out there, and he just goes out and puts out
He had 2 takedowns before I knew it wasn't Laughlin.
Yeah. Yeah,
and
he looked good.
And that was only like 30 seconds.
Yeah. He looked good. He looked good. He looked strong. He looked aggressive. He did a good job pretty much in all positions. So it was a good debut for him. I mean, he puts himself in the mix to to be the guy, coming out like that and having a strong performance. So, I mean, that's his first, true Division I match. So, good debut from him. And that guy he wrestled's not bad. But Ben kind of ate him up. He looked strong. He got to the legs, quick finishes. And like I said, hey, he left some bonus points out there. Like, I mean, one Turk, turns that into a tech fall and probably a pin. If he puts somebody on their back, he's so strong. So there, he can make some adjustments there too. But yeah, it's a bright spot, no doubt. Welcome to D1 Wrestling, Ben Pazook.
He gave up those 2 takedowns at the end, or not the end, like in the last minute, and he was fighting hard and but he looked so unhappy at the end. Like the camera like kind of closed in on him at the end of the match, and it looked like he just got his butt whooped, and he was so defeated. And he still majored the guy, and like honestly, he would have needed like 3 takedowns in the last 40 seconds to get that tech fall.
Well, he could have got him. I mean, wouldn't you feel the same way if you got taken down twice in the last 30 seconds after beating somebody up for 6 minutes and 40 seconds? And nobody wants to finish a match that way, so that's why he looked disappointed. That's why he's good, because he's disappointed he gave up those takedowns. He can make the adjustments. We've talked about it. He can make the adjustments he needs so he doesn't give those up. But, yeah, strong debut. Good job, Ben Pazook.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been remiss not to talk about the low spot. There was some discussion on the alumni page. JT Brown just didn't have his best match. That kid's tough. JT's tough too. I mean, I just don't think it was his best showing. Is there something he's got to adjust moving into this week? What's kind of the outlook there?
No, I think so. Maybe not even technical, but maybe like tactical things. Yeah, listen, I mean, nobody is as disappointed in that match as JT Brown. So, fans and alumni included, they're entitled to their opinion. But I know JT Brown, and I've known him for, 5 years now. The kind of guy he is, and he works his butt off, and he takes a lot of pride in representing the program. There's nobody that wants it, for our program more than JT, whether they're on the team right now or whether they graduated last year or 20 years ago, it doesn't matter. He wants it for the team as much as anybody. So no doubts, no concerns there. JT knows what he needs to do. I mean, the guy wrestled him quite a bit different than he did last year, if you noticed. I mean, last year the guy moved forward a lot, and then I think he figured out, okay, I'm not going to wear this guy out. Maybe that's not the strategy. And this year just kind of even got down on one knee, a few times. So JT just got to make a couple adjustments there. But I mean, if you see him, JT's attitude in the room today, you wouldn't be concerned either. I mean, he's back at it. He's excited. He's focused on training. And, the guys that can move past performances that they don't like, and it's not that they don't let them affect them. Like, of course, it would affect me too, but they don't let him hold him back. Like, he's not pouting. He's not, this fake anger. He's not acting like he's pissed off at the world. He's like, okay, I got to make some adjustments, so that doesn't happen again. I make these adjustments, then I can change the outcome of the match. If I don't, this might happen to me again. He's got a mature outlook on it. So, I mean, it would call it a low spot. That's probably a little bit, I mean, the low spot is, listen, us coaches should have been saying, cut them at 57. We should have been, getting more back points at 74. We could have done a few things. I mean, it's one guy's out there at a time, but it's a group effort. So, try to single somebody out for, a performance they didn't like. Let's not forget that anybody who's had the courage to step out there and compete has probably felt that way before, at least once in their career. So, he didn't like it. We didn't like it for him. Move on, learn from it, and don't look back.
Heck yeah. Heck, I've had some of the worst losses of anyone, so I'm going to talk.
We could save this debate for another episode. I don't know who wants to tune into this, hear us all debate our bad losses. But
well, I'll tell you this: if you look at the Chris Dardanes match of mine, not to steal the show, but if you look at it, there's this freeze frame that was all over the social media at the time where I have just a total poo-poo face. Like, it looks like I'm crying at one point when he cut me and take me down for about the 6th time in a row. It's bad.
all right, just for ego alone, I'm gonna let you take that award tonight. I don't want to debate you, even though I probably could make a pretty strong case. I'm trying to forget those. So, hey man, I'll let you take that one.
It's all right.
All knowing. Does everybody notice that this is the first time B-Row has gotten really quiet?
Yeah, he's.
What do you mean?
In all of our times recording, all of a sudden B-Row got really quiet. Didn't want to talk about any of these.
Let's talk about some losses.
I mean, I wasn't that good in college, so like I'm gonna throw out some bad losses of guys you never even heard of.
Stan.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, remember that time I lost a close 7-3 to this guy who was ranked 12th in the country?
So some highs and some lows during the match. I'm sure the guys are hungry going into the Navy match. But before we talk about that, we had 7 extra matches.
Yeah.
And were those going on at the same time?
Yeah, they were going on at the same time. Yeah.
So we got five wins out of those 7 matches. Were there any of them that stood out to you?
I mean, yeah, they were good. It was good to see all those matches. I think Julian started off. Sanchez at 141, who's kind of had a rocky, freshman year from injury to quarantine and just really hard to find consistency. But getting an opportunity, he's made weight a couple times thinking he was going to have a match, I think the past 2 weeks. And the opposing team ended up not having somebody in his weight class. So he stayed with it, and he went out there and he very pretty. Like, he got taken down a couple times early, but came back and he won like 8-7, I think. Came back in the late in the second and the third period, got a couple takedowns, rode the guy out to win. That was awesome to see because it was a tough opponent he was wrestling. That was good. Nate Lucas continues to impress, a 149-pounder that just – man, this kid's got a motor that he does not know the definition of tired. Like, Nate Lucas will go and go. So it's fun to see him continue to improve. Laughlin picked up a victory at 74 over there. Trying to think, who all else wrestled. Saham, he got 8-9 takedowns in his match. So, that was good to see. Yeah, there were some good performances over there. Yeah. So Christian Hunt. Yeah, Christian Hunt at 157 got a good win. He just found out he was we left on Saturday morning and we told him on Friday, hey, they have an extra 157 pounder. Like, do you want it? And he wasn't very close to weight. He was like, yeah, I want the match. He cut the weight and got down there and got the dub too. He was able to cut the weight, went out there and won, and got his hand raised. So that was good to see.
Loudon Swain moment. Way to be.
Yeah.
So does the home team kind of decide if you guys are going to wrestle extra matches at the same time? Or is
they have 2 mats, and so it just makes sense to do that.
Because they're wrestling UNC afterwards, that they want to make the most of the time.
Yeah, and really, I mean, you have a dual meet with 10 matches, and then to sit there with 7 extra matches afterwards, it's not great. So we only have 1 competition mat is the reason that we've been running extra matches after the duel. If we had 2 competition mats, we'd be doing the same thing. So I need to put in that purchase request here in the off season. We need another competition mat, lay them out side by side.
B-Row, you got any contacts at WrestleLite?
Yeah, Lita White's who I'm working with now for my BHAW mat. Jordan's just trying to get it on the air that I just ordered a wrestling mat for my garage gym. So
because everybody needs a wrestling mat in their garage gym.
Yeah,
that's why.
For their family of one.
Make a comeback to Midlands if you don't have a wrestling mat. How are you going to train?
Listen, I want you got to video yourself doing some stance and motion. I want to see the foot fire. Matter of fact, we could do it on Zoom too, and I could coach you through some of your workouts. Do it and was it fast enough? Things like that. Pretty good.
Should just be an episode.
Yeah. Jordan's getting on me. Jordan's
documentary.
You put graphics on it. That's so extra. I was like, no. When I'm building content for the BHAW page, with me, doing Rocky workouts, you need to have the BHAW logo in the background, or else it just goes to waste.
That's a recruiting tool right there. Get the high school kids on there, see what an Army wrestling practice is like, but it's just B-row being done after like 20 minutes.
Dude, I got a little motor, Pat. Don't make me send out in the group chat your I used to work out picture.
Well, you're gonna need it because I heard that first round Pigtail Midlands 2021, JT's got a motor, so I can't wait to see you guys. I'm gonna keep bringing this up.
No, JT's going 41. Let
33, son.
The fans know, episode 33, that JT and I had a talk about Midlands for about 15 minutes, and he gave me match by match strategy. He's put some thought into this. But
no, what we need to do is you guys need to come wrestle one of the extra matches after our dual meets. Alumni, yeah, an alumni.
Down.
I'll be there Friday. Well, can I get a pass? How do I show up? I'll wrestle somebody.
I can do. Let's talk offline.
Oh, give me some squid. Just anybody. Make weight.
Let's talk offline.
If I can get my brother in an officiated match, I'll be there.
I would love to see you guys throw hands one more time.
Yeah.
We'll get Randall as an official for that.
We're gonna see how much people really want to see that, and maybe a little fundraiser for the program. We'll see.
Yes. Let's have them purchase it in Dogecoin though.
To the moon.
To the moon, baby.
If Coach D'Angelo's watching, I've tried to talk him into selling the other day, like so bad. Like, Joe, get rid of it, sell it. He's like, nope, I'm gonna
Never
be
sell,
real.
baby. Never sell.
Yeah. What else is up?
Well, it's Navy week.
Yeah. Oh shoot. Yeah. Yeah.
Just so the fans know, I'm gonna have a Zoom room open so that we can talk smack, give strategy, kind of talk things like 30 minutes before the match and then during it. That way you can have the full fan experience. And the fans can't be there, but we could have, you could have your TV having the match, and then your laptop or your phone having the Zoom. That way you can chime in and, complain that, Navy's stalling and, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Listeners out there, I'll put the link in the bio, but tune in, talk some Army Navy, starting at 5:30 p.m. Eastern on Friday night.
Yeah, so that's we start 6 p.m. on Friday, and it's senior night. So we get to it's different because our families aren't able to be here this year, and there's not going to be a huge crowd. But we get to honor our seniors that have done a pretty incredible job for us, and then we get to wrestle in the greatest dual meet in the country. We're looking forward to it. You guys know, you guys are super fans, and there's a few more super fans out there. On paper, they're probably favored when you look at the dual meet. They're in the national rankings. We're not. When you look at the individual matchups, like I said, they probably have the edge on paper. So listen, if we want to give ourselves a chance to compete in a way that we're really going to be proud of and a chance to win the duel, like, we're going to have to really be ready to compete, like, up and down. You can't be it's not going to take 8 or 9 guys giving everything they got. It's going to take 10 guys giving everything they got. Not 10 guys almost giving everything. It's going to be, we need a full team effort. And, but I think our guys know that, and they're embracing it. Like, they know what it's going to take, and they know what it means. They know how special this rivalry is, and we've been on both sides of it. Or at least I have. The guys on our team haven't, I always say, it's a lot more fun to win it than it is to lose. So, we're looking forward to making some good memories that you can look back on and be proud of. And really the way you do that is to outfight somebody and get your hand raised. That's the memories that you love, is when you look back and think about winning. So, we want to send our seniors off in style, and there's going to be some big time. The rankings aside, it's like every match is a big time match in this dual meet. The intensity, the energy that's into it. So, we're recording this on Monday night, and the duel's not until Friday, but shoot, we'd wrestle it tomorrow if we could. It's a lot of fun.
Well, similar to what they talk about in football, doesn't really matter what you come into ranked. This matchup is so unique, so special, so hard fought and gritty. It doesn't matter what number's beside your name or any. So.
Yeah, no, you nailed it. That's what it comes down to. It's a hard fought, gritty type of dual meet, and if somebody's 1 point or 2 points better than the other, it's a toss up. It's like throw that out the window. It doesn't freaking matter. If you step out on the mat in this dual meet, you have a chance to win. So us, we have to respect that. If we're favored, you better respect the fact that you got to show up. You got to back it up. And if we're the underdog, it's like be excited about that. Because when you step out there, you have the opportunity to knock somebody off. And if we're going to beat them, we got to knock them off. Like we got to go take what we want. So yeah, we get excited about it. Kind of looking forward to talking about it now and getting kind of fired up. So looking forward to the duel.
So looking at our lineup, we have a lot of, I was thinking, oh, it's a younger lineup. When I'm going through it, most of the guys are, Cals or firsties. Does that help, you think, in the Army of rivalry, like understanding that a little bit more than like a plebe or maybe like maybe super excited about going into it and like.
Yeah, I don't think it matters. Maybe to a few of them personally that have been in it a few times, especially if they walked away not feeling the way they wanted to, it probably matters maybe a little bit more, but you take somebody like, we got a freshman at 133, like he's excited. We have a senior, I guess we have a few seniors in the lineup, but and upperclassmen, they're just excited. Ask Bobby Hill, what it means to him, as a senior that's wrestled a few of those dual meets and has a chance, to wrestle this week. But does it mean more because they're seniors? I don't know, maybe because they know it's their last opportunity to do it. But these freshmen are excited too. So, the bottom line is if you put the Army singlet on, you step out there, you got to be excited for this dual meet no matter what.
It's always a special environment. Are there going to be any cadets allowed in the door?
I'm not sure. I think they're going to open it up to some cadets, and they're probably, they'll have to wear their mask and stay however many feet away is safe to stay just inside of the gym. I don't know anymore. But they're gonna hopefully they do open it up to some. I've heard rumors that they may open it up to some cadets. So we'll find out. Yeah.
Well, I hope they can get as raucous of a crowd as they can, considering all the.
Yeah, man. Hopefully they're starved. They're starved for some entertainment, and then maybe we can provide that for them. So hell yeah, man. We need to get as many there as we can possibly get. We need their support.
Well, going through the match, so there's 6 ranked wrestlers on both, in the total of the duel. We got a matchup between ranked guys at 97, but other than that, 41, the Seaman got one, number 15. We got PJ at 49 at 25, Marcus Hartman, number 14 at 57. They got Schedule at 165, and then at 97, as alluded to, JT and their guy. So is there any matchup that you're really looking forward to? That's probably not really fair to say. This is the greatest rivalry in all sports. So
every freaking match matters. Yeah, I want to see Ryan Chauvin start us off because I know what he's capable of doing. I'm looking forward to that. I'm telling you, okay, fans maybe from the outside are watching and they're saying, okay, what's up with this guy? I'm telling you how good Ryan Chauvin is. He's completely capable. And I'm going to keep talking about it. And when it clicks with him and he finally believes it when he's out there in competition, everyone's going to see what I'm talking about. So, yeah, I want to see him. I want to see Montgomery go out there and wrestle a tough kid. And, Lane Peters, I guess, isn't, in the rankings, but he belongs in the rankings of 141 pounds. And so that anytime he steps on the mat, it's going to be a dogfight. Their guy at 49 is probably in the rankings somewhere, and so are we. Depending on who they have at 57, should probably be in the rankings. At some level. We know how good he is. They're freshmen, and we know how really good our guy is. So, there's just matchups, all the way up and down. It's like, what adjustments can you make? We've wrestled their guy at 65 for a few years. We got to make a couple adjustments. It's the guy wins a ton of close matches, and when you win a lot of close matches, you're vulnerable. So, we just have to show that. If we don't take advantage of it, then it doesn't matter. But if we do, then good, and at 74, if it's Laughlin or Pazook, somebody, there's an opportunity there. Go take advantage of it. I want to see Taylor Brown as a senior wrestle in his very first, star match as a senior. That's pretty cool. His story is pretty remarkable. And at 97, and we have 2 damn good heavyweights too. So whoever steps out, a heavyweight, it's like, no, there's not one match I'm looking forward to. I want to see them all. These are like, it's exciting. It's like it's the best dual meet in the country, bar none.
Is there any special preparation going into this week? And I'm actually thinking all of a sudden, I know we had those 5 GAs that were part of the class of 2020 that they were the first class to beat Davie all 4 years. What are those guys saying to the team? I know they're going to be fired up on Friday night.
I don't know. I don't know that anything special needs to be said. You just remind your guys that it's not a normal dual meet, and that's okay to admit that. So if people say, "Oh, it's just another match," it's not just another match. People don't just talk about any match for the rest of their lives, but they'll talk about this one. And if they don't talk about it, it's because they don't like the way it came out. It turned out. So you get an opportunity to give yourself some good memories that you'll have for the rest of your life. It's okay to admit that going into competition, but you have to let that bring out your best. So that's the message, is like, just and welcome that and embrace it and love the fact that it's a dual meet that matters, because you're going to remember it. Give yourself the memories that you're going to be proud of. Other than that, there's no special, preparation. It's just all about getting each individual ready. And if we do that, we can have a good team.
Has Trey or Willie been doing any kind of special preparation?
Yeah, well, we might have to have them go takedowns to see who gets the mic. I can't tell you how many compliments, maybe I shared this last time. Everybody loves Trey Shalafu on the mic. He may have just really worked his way into a volunteer job. I'm not sure. Willie, I think, is going to be on the mic. I think Trey has a conflict. He might be out of town on Friday. So Willie's back on the mic. But listen, all you viewers are in good hands, no matter who it is. Willie, Shalafu, it doesn't matter.
Do you think Colat's ready for the environment coming into Crystal Arena? Do you think he knows what Army Navy's about?
Sure. I mean, yeah, I mean, you say that, but then it's always, each year is unique too. And we have a good idea what something's about, but until you're in it, you never really know. It doesn't matter. To be honest, I don't spend a lot of time thinking about what the other coach is thinking. So I have, it's not something I've thought about whether he's ready for it or not. It doesn't matter whether he's ready. It doesn't matter whether I'm ready. It matters whether the 10 guys we put out there to compete are ready. So that's pretty much my focus. Is I don't worry about anybody else, any other team, wondering how ready they are. It's just got to focus on our guys and make sure they're ready to go.
Do you feel like you've gotten more passionate about this match throughout your years, every year? Do you think early on, it was just as passionate?
That's a good question, B-Row.
I get a good one every once in a while.
Yeah, I don't think it's more or less. I think that when I came to West Point, I came in pretty open-minded, expecting the unexpected. But I knew that it was a big dual meet. That first year probably opened my eyes, to maybe it's even bigger than I thought. But then, I've got a healthy appreciation for what it means. I love our program and I love the guys on our team more every year. So the more attached to them you get, maybe the more invested you are. But no, as far as approaching the dual meet any differently year over year, I don't think so.
Do you get visitors in the practice room this week? I feel like Army Navy week, you get the soup coming in, you guys ready? Anybody stopping and giving words of wisdom?
So this year
they're early on in the week too. It's only Monday. So
yeah, but I mean, in most years maybe there'd be a few people, but I mean this year it's closed to just the staff and us. There's a pandemic, hero. We can't just open the room to anybody. And me personally, I don't open the floor to very many people. I don't just welcome somebody to come in and share their message, because you have no idea what the heck they're going to say, so we don't get a ton of visitors. I mean, you've been in the room a few times, that we don't get a ton of visitors that we just open the floor to anyway. So no, it's cool though when people stop by, and we've had some leadership stop by throughout the course of the season, so it's not like they need to show up now to let us know they care. We know they care. We know they got our back. So but it is only Monday. Nobody stopped by today. I can tell you that.
Love it. Well, we want to get into some questions.
Yeah, man. I want to know what people want to know. I want to give people what they want. I want to give what they came here for.
Let's crank through these.
All right, the first one. This one's coming from Matt Kyler. It's a two-part question. Why does Dan Cicerelli hate JT so much, and how jealous of JT's chains is Dan?
Well, I think he just answered his own question. But okay, so first off, he doesn't. You know, Ciccarelli was saying, "Man, we had a chance there with Lehigh, and wanted a little bit more out of JT." Okay, fair point. You get to say that. It's easy to say that from behind a keyboard. Why does he hate on the chains and tattoo? Nobody hates on the chains. Matter of fact, hey, after last week's episode, JT was like, "Coach, how am I the second swaggiest on the team?" Because, you know, I said Ben Sullivan in his blue jeans. I almost sent you guys a picture when we were leaving for Lehigh. Ben Sullivan shows up in his blue jeans, you know, and he had to change into his travel uniform. I was like, that's perfect. That's why I told the whole team, I said, JT's the second swaggiest on the team, because anybody that has the style to pull off, you know, their sneakers, blue jeans, T-shirt tucked in, no jacket. I don't care how cold it is outside. Ben Sullivan doesn't need a jacket. That's the swaggiest guy on the team. So, and then JT started talking some smack, and after practice, I said, I'm going to move you down to 4th or 5th. Most swag guy on the team. And that was almost the end of the conversation. JT said, "That's bullshit, coach." I said, "What coach says goes." And then that was the end of the conversation. So I think JT took that pretty personally.
So who else has some swag going? So if you're going to move him down to 4th or 5th, now who moves into the up in the pecking order?
Doesn't matter. Anybody. I put Ben Sullivan. I put myself above him. It doesn't matter. I just moved him down a few spots. His head was getting a little bit too big.
All right. Nick asks, we have a ton of wrestlers on the team with many backups. However, we only have one 125-pounder. What happened at that weight?
People grow. You know, we've recruited a few guys to be 125-pounders. It's really hard to find. You know, you look around the country, it's hard to find somebody that can stay at 125 pounds for a few years. Ryan Hetrick, you know, was another guy that was going to be at 125 this year. He got COVID ended his career. So, you know, most of us by this point know a few people that have had COVID and like a minor impact on them. And with Hetrick, it like set him back pretty far. You know, he can exercise now. Like he's drilling now and he's active again. But for too long, he wasn't able to be active. So, you know, that was I mean, that's a bummer because he's a senior team captain that's like put in a lot of work, you know, he's really excited. And he's started a few times for us over the course of his career. But yeah, that's what happened. People grew, people got hurt, you know, sometimes unexpected things happen. So is it ideal for any weight class to have one person, you know, on your depth chart? No, I get that. I recognize it. And it's fair for our supporters to ask. So, you know, that's what happened. But, you know, I go back to it. Like, is that ideal? You know, probably not. But like Ryan Chauvin is completely capable. So, you know, the guy we have there can get the job done.
You know, you just mentioned Hetrick, and I remember the story you told about picking his branch, which reminds me it was just post-night week. Was anybody disappointed in their post-choice?
No, if they were, we didn't hear. I know a few were like pretty nervous that day. They were debating, you know, where do I go? Like Lane Peters was like, you know, so I grew up in Tennessee, and he was, so should I, you know, do I go Campbell and like be close to Nashville, or should I go to Colorado Springs? And I was like, Lane, I don't know. I grew up in Soddy Daisy, Tennessee. I don't know. You know, where you should be. Colorado Springs is what he chose. So I think he made a really good choice. But some people were like bouncing around that day, you know, not sure what they were going to pick that night. I didn't see any tears, you know, and nobody was.
That's a fortunate problem to have. You know, not everybody gets to pick where they go.
That's right.
Is that, I think, listen, I don't know the differences now and back then, but now I see them walk up to a board, they grab where they want to go, turn around, show it to their friends. I'm going to Fort Carson, you know. Everybody celebrates, and that's it.
Yeah, sometimes there's not many choices left on the board.
Yeah, some people aren't celebrating, and it's depressing.
So
it's only for 2 or 3 years. You know, 3 years, and you're gone.
So you three guys all cried. Is that the vibe I'm picking up here?
No,
where did you guys end up? Because I know I got the worst.
Fort Campbell.
I went to Fort Knox. I was a happy camper.
I was at Fort Bliss. So thanks, guys.
They have a nice mall.
Cool.
So we have a last minute question comes in. This is from Rudy Chalednik. He's asking Pat Smith, why did you steal a singlet?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Fell off the truck.
It's right there.
What are you talking about?
Rudy just texted me that. I sent him a picture of us talking right now. And he asked,
did those pictures also come out of the team room? Like, what else did you take out of there? Listen, Jack Wedholm shows up at the Midlands last year. And I think this was last year. And he comes down. It's good to see Jack. You know, we hadn't seen him in a while, and he comes back, and we're all giving hugs, and he takes his jacket off. And I'm like, Jack, why are you he's wearing the bench shirt, the shirts that we issue to wear on the bench at dual meets. You're supposed to turn them in afterwards, you know? Like, not only did you steal it, but you wore it to a competition you knew I was going to be at.
I don't know how
it would still fit him when he like he was a 74 pounder, but now he weighs like 220. So it was like a spandex bench shirt. I'm like, oh, Wedholm. So we had this bench shirt because I look around. I'm like, we look like a high school team. Everybody's wearing something different. So I want shirts that people have to wear on the bench. Like, this is your shirt you're wearing underneath your warm-ups. It was a great idea, and we looked really good until it's like slowly stopped getting turned in, you know? And it's one of those things, like, you forget to check, you know, and then by the time you're handing out gear for the next dual meet, you're like, where the hell's the other medium shirt, you know? And nobody knows. I turned mine in, coach. So
what is
anyways,
it for us to get some custom singlets like Army Navy football?
Oh, you wanted, yeah.
What's it gonna take?
We just got to do it.
That'd be sweet.
We got to design it. To be honest with you,
About
like
$600 probably is what it would take.
Yeah, we just have to design it. I mean, all the gear that we've made that people really like, we've made it in our office. Like, we've designed it. We have an equipment staff and stuff, but you guys know how it is. They make football stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like, we have equipment staff. They work for football. So yeah, we just have to do it. We have to design it. Like, I think all our singlets we've designed, our new warm-ups we designed, all the shirts that we got that people like, you know, so we just got to put our minds together in the office, get some gear out.
That'd be sweet.
All right.
So Josh Sandhouse asks if there's going to be extra matches Friday after the duel.
All right, Josh. Nope, not for this dual meet. So no extra matches. We're not running any before or after. So, you know, for a dual meet like this, you know, let's kind of set the stage, and it can stand on its own. It should stand on its own. We would like to have extra matches, but, you know, it's the last dual meet of the year, then onto the EIWA tournament. So this dual meet stands by itself. It's going to be 10 bouts, knockdown, drag out, heavyweight title fight, and then on to the EIWAs 2 weeks after.
Boom, boom.
Yep.
Have they made announcements about EIWAs and what that's going to look like?
Yeah. So the EIWA tournament is going to be hosted, I think it's in Lancaster, PA.
I thought it was in Mannheim.
Okay, Mannheim at Spooky Nook. You know this, B-Row? Have you heard of Spooky Nook?
No, I just remember we talked about it being at a convention center in Mannheim.
Yeah, it's like the Spooky Nook is the home of U.S. field hockey, I think. So it's from what I hear, it's dozens of acres of training facility for field hockey.
Sounds like a terrifying place.
Yeah, I mean, I've never laid eyes on it. I have no idea, but it's going to be a 1-day tournament. Is it February 26th? Is that Friday, or is it the 28th? Whatever it is, late February. It's a 1-day tournament. No fans allowed. You'll be able to stream it on Flow, but you can be able to check it out. So we've gone back and forth. The NCAA's told us different things. Just today we heard, okay, we're probably keeping all our allocations that we had over the past 5 years. A couple weeks before, it was no, they're going to probably cut them in half. So, I mean, there's a lot we still don't know about how the conference tournament's going to run. We're going to show up. We're going to wrestle. It's going to be a 10-team tournament. We're going to show up. And if you're there, you have a chance to go to the NCAA tournament. That's what we do know. That's all we need to know, you know, for today. We know where to be. It's a 1-day tournament. We'll be ready.
Boom.
So Rudy Chalenik also asks, he's most excited for Matt Kyler at Midlands this year. Who are you most excited for to compete as a USMA alumni? I guess I should have phrased that a little better, but.
Well, now I don't know if I can get JT to bump up, but I'm wondering if I could pair you and Matty Kyler up for that pigtail bout. That's what
we need to be on opposite sides of the bracket. We'll meet.
No, pigtail. We've got this deal. It's pigtail.
No, Matt could legit make a run. You know?
I'm talking about.
You don't want to cut that short because he's never got a takedown on me.
Don't sell yourself short,
match first round. Listen, there's no doubt. Matt Kyler's come in the room a couple times. The dude can still scrap. There is 100% chance that he can go out there and win matches. And if he's training, he can win a lot of matches. But what kind of training is he going to be doing? I know how I would be training if I was getting ready for Midlands right now, and it wouldn't be pretty. So,
yeah, he definitely doesn't have a BHAW mat in his garage coming up.
That's right. He doesn't even need. He has a BHAW driveway. That's where he trains. You have a wrestling mat, he's out going takedowns on his driveway.
In his blue jeans.
It is 100%. Yeah.
So this is a little bit of a philosophical question. Not philosophical, but you're going to need to think about this one. Kevin Liebert, I may be butchering that name, but high schools around the state of New York are opting out of wrestling, even as other high-risk sports have been approved. What would Coach Ward say to the Board of Education or superintendent to convince them to allow wrestling if you were a high school coach?
Wow, taking it straight to the board.
Yeah, let me go. Can I at least can I politic around for a little
Not
bit?
even gonna talk to the AD first. He's just jumping the chain.
Let me go to the board. Listen, we can do it. I mean, this is the bottom line: is we can do it. And here's what I would say about sports in general. It's not just sports. It's easy to sit back and say those guys don't need to play this game for a year. Sports are bigger than sports. We know what they represent. And we've all devoted a large portion of our life to them. It represents striving for something, a challenge, overcoming obstacles, like what you become through adversity. That's what sports represent. And wrestling specifically, like we are as well equipped to deal with, any type of health issue as anybody, because we're the only sport that has like a daily health check, and we have a health check before competitions. It's not foreign to us. And the reality of it is it's really close contact, but it's close contact with one person. Whereas, I've used this example, soccer, lacrosse, hockey, basketball, football, like one person's going to have close contact with, at least 5 other people over the course of a competition. Wrestling, one person versus one person for 6 minutes in high school. You can do it. And look around the country, it's been done. I don't doubt anybody's motives, is like to keep everybody safe. But I do think there's maybe some middle ground that can be struck. Like, you can do this and you can do it in a safe way, or you're never going to get down to 0.0 risk, no matter what. So no, I would just say it might be hard to find a solution, but it's definitely worth it. I mean, sports are worth it. I think sports play such a big role in developing young people. And I'm like, man, you know what? The young people are worth it. Like, if that's a tough solution, then that's no excuse for not figuring it out. How's that? Or is the board, what's the board going to say? Get out of here,
Approved.
Okay, yeah.
Overturned. We will allow wrestling.
All in favor.
All right, what else we got, B-Row?
I mean, am I going to ask them all? I was waiting for the dramatic pause there. So when
I got this next one.
You got the Google Doc up?
Christian Snook asks, which hotel is Navy staying at during their visit?
Oh God, yeah, I don't know. And if I do know, Christian, I'm sorry. I can't be, that. I don't know.
He didn't actually ask that question. I put that in there and just called him out.
Yeah,
there's a few of them. There's probably 3 or 4 of them that I just wrote her name down and just asked the question. We didn't get as many responses this week. Last week we got like 15 questions. We didn't have time to go through them all. Today,
yeah, we were hustling. We were hustling today, though. You put this thing together in like 3 hours. Said, no, let's do it tonight. And
you need to.
No, this was like noon.
Was it noon?
I think it's because I asked the question on the alumni page and not you. People see you and they're like, "Oh, I'm going to ask him a question." They're like, "B-Row, I don't care about him."
You think that's really what they're thinking?
What
do you think goes through their head? They see B-Row. What do you think?
I don't know.
That's definitely what it is.
Yeah.
It's probably the same thought when they see my Raptor. When they see my truck.
Oh, this guy. That's what they're thinking.
They just, because my Raptor's it's jacked up and it's tan. So. And
they're thinking, this guy.
I had no idea that you had a Raptor or did CrossFit.
I don't really talk about my truck that much. I may talk about CrossFit a lot, but.
It took till episode 33 for him to bring up his pickup. How does it take you 33 episodes to bring up your truck? Which is pretty sick, by the way. I like it.
Well, apparently I talk about it all the time to Jordan.
Great truck.
He's, I bring up CrossFit on all 33 of these episodes, but and I bring up the truck once, and now he combines both those things into the same conversation.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Matt Kelly asks, what was your favorite win over Navy so far? I think they're probably all great, but I'll let you answer it.
We're probably are. Is that Matt Kelly? Rat Kelly? Yeah. All right. I mean, the first one was pretty sweet, just because it was the first time in a while. And there were a lot of people that hadn't seen it before. They're all pretty sweet. I mean, I just think about the individual moments. I think about a few years ago, Bobby Hield, jumping into the arms of everybody, on the side. That was a cool memory. I think of Trevor Smith, celebrating. Like, I mean, there's been some cool moments. So I think about it in terms of like the memories the guys have a chance to make, the performances. I think about, like last year, Trey Shalafou getting started, going undefeated against him in his career, like, and really just kind of beating the guy up. That was like Trey was fired up for that. I mean, that was, like those are the things that I think about, like the individuals being able to have those moments. They're all fun. Like I said, it's I've been on both sides of it. It's a lot more fun to win than it is to lose.
Well, he also asked what your best memory at the NCAAs was since being at West Point.
Oh shoot, man. I mean, we've had some upsets, for sure. Like when I think about the NCAA tournament, I think about sitting down there in the tunnel for an hour and a half, not being able to move after Ben Harvey's round of 12 losses. That hurt, but Ben provided a few good moments too, like getting there and the matches he's won, the way that he won them was so fun. So, I think those upsets, I think, watching Luke Weiland win a couple matches the way that he did there, just knowing how hard he worked to get to that point. Luke was a lot of fun to watch there. And definitely Harvey. I mean, being able to, I just think about the end of it, like being able to sit in Russ Parsons' corner, and watch him do what he does. Like, I mean, those are the things I think are cool. Trey Shalafou, I've told this story before, but this was, I guess, 2 years ago now. Trey gets the call as an alternate. He's like 17 pounds over or something, and we're like, hey, you need to get back here to Arvin. We're leaving in 2 days, And he, like, we literally put a bike there in the middle of the wrestling room and turn on like The Office or something, like on the big screen, sits there and works out all night, and does that for a couple of days, like things like that, or when you look back on them, they're cool stories, they're cool memories because it's guys, putting through, going through a lot of adversity to have a chance to make some good memories for themselves. So yeah, it's hard to pick one, to be honest. I mean, when I would think of the NCAA tournament at this point, like most competitors, you remember the matches that didn't go your way more than you remember the ones that did.
So Sam Ruda asks, Sadi Daisy, new football coach? ? Any good?
I just saw that today. Somebody just showed me we have a defensive line coach that in 2010 was the defensive coordinator at Sadi Daisy High School. So I just messaged the guy on Instagram today, and I noticed that, like, my Instagram, if you look at my Instagram, you may not know that I coach wrestling at West Point. So I just messaged the guy and was like, hey, welcome to West Point. I'm a Sadi Daisy graduate. It's good to have somebody else up here in New York. And he wrote back, much appreciated, or, thumbs up. Thanks very much. So we haven't had a chance to connect yet, but I just learned that tonight. Yeah, this guy coached all over Chattanooga. So when we get back to like in-person coaches meetings, I'm going to have to, I think he'll be easy to find. He looks like, I mean, he's a big dude. So I should be able to find him. But what about that? Small world.
Real small.
So I don't know if Rudy's somehow listening in on this, but he actually asked a question in the Instagram, not even texting me, saying, when can we be expecting an alumni match? Kyler is looking for revenge against B-Rep.
Man, he really wants to see Kyler take the mat.
Oh, he does. Yeah. I really want to see Kyler too. I heard he beat everybody up, like from, 57 to heavyweight. He just came in the room and just took it to everybody.
So
what's JT's chains, allegedly?
What's Rudy up to these days?
Rudy's
drinking Mountain Dew and eating ding dongs.
No, Rudy's at the at ILE.
Well, let's bring him to Midlands.
Yeah, and he's like the size of a 41-pounder now. He wrestles 57 in college. I think he weighs like 155 now.
All right, perfect.
Probably training for best sapper competition for like the 6th year in a row.
Yeah. He put a post up actually today about like, oh, I won Best Sapper 5 years ago. I miss it or something. some weird nostalgic post. It was like, I'm going back to Fort Campbell.
Low key
And then it's a
brag.
picture of him winning Best Sapper.
Yeah. Humble brag.
Low key brag. Yep.
Yeah. So how obsessed is Jordan Tom with Doge? That's another listener question from me.
From Dero. I'm very obsessed. It's the coin of the people, you know.
What's it at right now? I'm gonna look it up right now.
I'll tell you. Stand by. I got you. I'm a captain in the Doge Army, so I can pull it up real quick. It's at 0.8. You know, life is good.
Stop.
It's gonna hit a dime this week. You know, I'm a big fan. They don't call it the Doge Navy; they call it the Doge Army for a reason.
As soon as we get done, I'm
Because
calling
Navy
Jody
endorses inflation. Okay, they endorse inflation. They're all about it, and you know, here we are.
Joe D'Angelo is probably sober. He thinks he's rich right now. He's
might
right
be.
there. He's right there with. He's a major in the Doge Army.
He
so.
might be. I salute him for holding. All right.
So this is the last listener fan question, and I think it's appropriate. It's from Charles Barbie, and it says, "Are all Navy moms Karens, and do they all want to speak to the manager?" It might be rhetorical. I don't know.
Oh man.
He actually goes by Chuck. He goes by Chuck Barbie.
Oh,
I'm gonna pass on this one. B-Row, can I phone a friend?
Yeah. Navy moms are all Karens. If you go to the like Navy, Army Navy, like there's a group page where it's like a ticket exchange. It's all squid moms, like just like trying to humble brag, but looking completely foolish in the process.
Okay, so I'll share this interaction because she actually came up to me. I've only had one interaction with, I mean, I guess I've had a few with Navy parents, and they've all been like, I don't have beef, you know, it's like there's never any disrespect. But you guys remember Bernstein, and Brian Harvey used to wrestle a lot, and Brian beat him like 4 or 5 times in a row. You know, and it's not because Brian had his number, it's because Brian's just freaking tough and a good wrestler and was better than him, just beat him, you know. And anyways, then Bernstein beats Ben Harvey at Vegas, you know, in a match. And she comes up to me. Like, I've never met this lady. She never said anything to me. Brian's been beating her son for, you know, the last 4 years. Now he graduated and Ben Harvey's there. Anyways, Ben gets beaten. She comes up to me, you know, and she's something like, oh, that's nice. That's so, you know, just something. I'm like, one, this is weird. Like, what are you doing talking to me? I don't know you, you know, and two, like, my wrestler just got beat. I'm pretty pissed off. I don't, like, you know, stay away. And all I could think to say was, it must be nice to finally get one. You know, I think I said something like that. Like, oh man, you've been waiting for that one for like 3 years, huh? You know, that's like my reaction. Yeah.
Did she have the Karen haircut?
I mean, listen, she came up to me after her son beat one of my guys. Like, I don't care about her hair. She was always really sweet, but like, that's pretty Karen.
This could be a highlight clip for this week.
No, I mean, she's a sweet lady, but that was like not the time to come up. All I could think to say was, yeah, you've been waiting on that one for like 5 years or whatever I said. I don't know. Good match. Because that dude was tough, man. Nothing but respect for him. He was a hell of a competitor. But didn't Ben, yeah, the year that we won there, that was like an improbable kind of dual meet win. Ben beat him in the dual meet there. I think it may have been the same year. She didn't come up to me after the dual meet. That's it. That's been my only interaction. The rest have been really good.
So following up, you know, we don't have any more listener questions, but I just thought of this one. Kind of capping on last week at Lehigh. Did any fan interaction?
Wouldn't you know it? Like, no fans in there. Wouldn't you know it? After
oh yeah, COVID.
Yeah, no fans in there. Or it would have been fun. I had a few people like after last week's send me some messages and stuff about their interactions with Lehigh fans. And I love it. I was like, man, they're fired up. They're passionate. They still have a fire for their team. after all these years. So I think that's I love it.
I feel like some of their fans would be just like lingering outside Grace Hall, just like hanging out. Even though they couldn't get in, they're just like
cold, and they got like 2.5 feet of snow, so there wasn't anybody really hanging out anywhere.
All right.
Good talk.
Yeah.
Big gulps, huh?
Hey man, Friday night, 6 p.m. It's going to be closed to anybody that's not living at West Point. So check it out on Night Vision. Another big time dual meet. And I'll say it's like, all the dual meets I've ever been a part of as a competitor or coach, this is the most special. It's because everybody cares, from not just the teams, but the schools and the alumni bases around the country and around the world support their programs, and they do it passionately, and they care about the results, and it's a dual meet that matters. So, man, I'm looking forward to it. We got a couple more days. We're going to prepare, and we can get a little bit sharper. And then on Friday, we're looking forward to a really good scrap. I mean, I know it's going to be we have to expect, the toughest dual meet we've ever had. So we get excited about that and looking forward to it. And then we'll get together next week and chat more Army wrestling.
Can't wait.
Awesome. 5:30, tune in for the Zoom too.
All right, put that up there on the alumni page too, and I'll share it for you too, B-Roll.
It's
got to come from you,
All right.
You're the one getting the clicks, not B-Row.
Not
right. Talking to myself in third person.
I got you, B-Row.
All right, B Navy.
Beat 'em.
Thanks for tuning in to the BHAW Radio Show. If you like what you heard, be sure to subscribe and leave us a 5-star rating on your favorite podcast platform. If there's something you'd like to hear on a future show, reach out to us on any of our social media, Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. Or you can reach us at email, bhaw.radio@gmail.com. We'd love to hear your thoughts, and as always, go Army, be Navy.